everybody. I'm Tyra Warner, and we're going to talk about elevator pitches today. So let me share my slides with you, and we will talk about elevator pitches. All right. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. Again, my name is Tyra Warner. I'm the department chair of hospitality, tourism, and culinary arts at the College of Coastal Georgia, and that's who I am. Now, if that were an elevator pitch, would that be very exciting? No, it would not. So I will give you a better elevator pitch here toward the end of the presentation after we talk about what it should sound like and how it can be more interesting than that. But I wanted to show you that if we were doing an elevator pitch and I gave you just the facts, it's really not very interesting. So when you're doing your elevator pitch, you're going to need to spice yours up a little bit too. So let's talk a little bit about what an elevator pitch really should sound like and what it should include. So first of all, just to start out, in case you're not familiar with elevator pitches, let's talk about what an elevator pitch is and really what it's not. So an elevator pitch, the idea of an elevator pitch is that it answers the question when somebody asks you, whether it's at a reception or a networking event or just, you're out with your parents and one of their friends asks, or you're at a restaurant or a career fair, whatever it is. So what do you do? Or if you're a college student, what do you want to do? Or tell me about yourself, or some similar question like that. And that's when you get that deer in the headlights look and you're like, sometimes you sort of even forget your own name. But you need to have a really smooth answer to this question, because this is your make or break moment. This is the moment when you have an opportunity to make an impression on somebody. So you need to have a good elevator pitch that answers the question that they're asking and makes you memorable for them, because you never know when that person is going to say, I met that really sharp young man or young woman at this restaurant, at this career fair. I should reach out to them. So an elevator pitch is a short, persuasive speech that you use to introduce yourself, or when you're in business, you have elevator speeches for ideas or concepts or for your department or whatever it is. But its purpose is to spark interest in who you are and what you do, or again, in a college student context, maybe what you want to do. And the reason it's called an elevator pitch is the idea is it's short enough that you could pitch your idea or your introduction to yourself if you got on an elevator with somebody by the time you got off on your next floor. So it's like 20 or 30 seconds max is the idea. It's pretty short. So the other thing about an elevator pitch is, I want you to think about all of the students that you're going to be graduating with in the same major from the same college. Now add in all of the same students that will graduate with basically the same degree from all the other colleges. Now you need to be able to distinguish yourself from them. And so that's why your elevator pitch has to be unique. It has to be different. It has to really represent you. I want you to imagine all of those graduates with your same degree in a one big room. Think of an exhibit hall, or think of a ballroom, and you're all in there and you all have on your black suits or your dark blue suits and you're all in there. How is one employer or one prospective employer going to remember who you were versus all those other people if all you say is, hi, my name's Tyra Warner and I'm a hospitality graduate and I want to work in a hotel? So do hundreds and hundreds of other people. So you got to figure out a way to make yourself sound different. All right, so let's talk about what should go into a good elevator speech or an elevator pitch. All right, so a boring elevator speech, as I mentioned, is kind of what I did for you at the beginning. Hi, my name is Tyra Warner. I work at College of Coastal Georgia. I'm the department chair of hospitality, tourism, and culinary arts. And I'm interested in the field of hospitality. Ugh, boring. Yeah, okay, kid, moving on. Right? So you need to spice it up from there. That's going nowhere. They're not going to remember you as soon as they turn their backs. So you got to come up with more than that. So the anatomy of a good elevator pitch or good elevator speech. First, you got to start, you do have to start with who you are. You need to give them your name, but you also need to think about sort of how you present yourself. The elevator speech or the elevator pitch is part of it, but also how you present yourself. And I want to encourage you to dare to be different. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. I used to do a program at a conference every year for seniors in high school who were interested in hospitality and tourism. And there were a couple that stood out to me. One was a guy who wore these turquoise rimmed glasses. And you just couldn't miss this guy because of his turquoise rimmed glasses. This guy now actually speaks in the meetings and events industry, which is my area of the industry. And he still wears these turquoise rimmed glasses, and everybody knows Alex because Alex wears these turquoise rimmed glasses. So it just kind of became part of his brand, part of his image. And he stood out for that. Another guy named Dennis. Dennis decided that his signature color was going to be orange. And I mean pumpkin orange. And he wore a suit, but he had an orange cloth in his pocket. And his business cards were printed in orange and black, sort of Halloween, but he had a little touch of orange in everything that he did. And I still remember Dennis's name because I remember he was the guy with all the orange. So just thinking about how do you dare to be different? Maybe instead of buying a black suit or a navy blue suit like everybody else, maybe your suit is red. Maybe it's plaid. Maybe you get to be known for wearing the one with the royal blue shirt everywhere, or whatever it is. But dare to be a little bit different. Not crazy, maybe, if you want to be a little bit mainstream, but dare to be a little bit different. So introducing who you are, your name, is certainly a start, but is there something else you want to say? Is your family in the business? Are you fourth generation hotel? Your family's been in the hotel business, then say that. Hi, I'm John Smith. I'm a fourth generation, hotel family. I'm the first generation of my family to go to college or to graduate from college. Is there something else you can say just even with who you are? Second part is the sparking curiosity. What can you say to spark curiosity about yourself? Is there one line that you can sort of say about yourself? Hi, I'm Sally, Sally Jones, and I've always wanted to do this, or, I want to combine my interests in skydiving with hospitality. Sorry, I keep saying hospitality, that's my field. But, is there something you can say and then launch into sort of your general kinds of things? Something to spark curiosity, something that will make it memorable. Right? Something that makes it just memorable for them. So it's not just, hi, I'm Sally Smith. I went to college here. This is what I majored in, which is going to sound like everybody else. And then third, you want to summarize what you do, or if you're a college, just graduating from college, if you have already worked, you can certainly summarize that. If it's what you want to do, if that's the appropriate for the audience you're talking to, because your elevator speech, you're probably going to have several versions depending on who you're talking to. So it may be a little bit different. So you may want to change it based on who you're talking to. So, summarize what you do. Now you don't need to say, hi, I'm an undergraduate. I take classes and I take tests and exams and that kind of thing, because they kind of get that with the whole, I'm a college student. But maybe it's what you want to do. And don't just say, I want to work in hotels or something like that, or maybe restaurants. Because now it's like, oh, she has no clue, and we get that. So have an idea, even if you're not sure that's what you want to do, sound like you're sure that's what you want to do, because people really admire confidence. So come up with something and sound like you are absolutely 100% positive that's what you want to do. So, I want to go work for a resort, and I'm really interested in operations. I'd be interested in particularly in this area or that area. or I'm really interested in going to work in the area of finance, and these are the areas that I'm interested in. Or my particular interest is going on to graduate school and I'm interested in studying this, or whatever it is. But come up with what it is and be specific as you can, while leaving yourself a little bit of wiggle room if you're a college student, because you don't want to box yourself out of something, but you also don't want to make it so loose that it's clear you really don't have a clue and you just want a paying job, because that's really not going to get you very far. Or, you may want to include details like, my family, all of my family is from Ohio, and I'm interested in relocating up that way, or getting a job that will allow me to relocate to different places eventually, something like that. But you want to be as specific, but more important than specificity even is confidence. This is what I want to do. This is where my skills, I think, lie. I think I've worked front desk, and I've worked operations. I'm really interested in, having had those skills, I'm really interested in moving into a position in sales at some point, whatever, however the path would best lead me into sales or convention services, that kind of thing. Again, excuse all the hospitality examples. That's what I know best. And then be ready for questions at the end of that, because that's where elevator speeches lead you if they're good. If they're good, somebody's going to follow up with questions. Well, tell me more. Well, what about this? Well, I do this, and this is what, I'm wondering about this. Is this a good fit? You should talk to my friend so-and-so, or my colleague, or do you have a card? That kind of thing. If you've done it well, you get questions. If not, you get a, well, good luck to you. Bye-bye. So you want to hopefully get some questions. So let me give you a couple of examples of elevator pitches. So I have several elevator pitches that I use because I'm in several different examples. So besides being department chair here at College of Coastal Georgia, I'm also an attorney. And so I speak in the industry a lot. And so I have a couple of different versions. So here's a couple that I crafted just to give you an idea of what I'm sort of talking about. So if I were in industry, or even outside my own industry, I might say, hi, I'm Tyra Warner. I help keep meeting and event professionals out of legal trouble. I'm a meeting and events industry attorney, and I teach hospitality and business law at the College of Coastal Georgia. Does your organization ever use interns for meetings and events? So you can see there, that's not all that I do. I'm not just an attorney. In fact, I'm not even primarily an attorney. I'm really primarily the department chair here at the college. But what I'm saying is that's my hook. I keep meeting and event industry people out of legal trouble, both by teaching it here and by being an attorney. And now I'm pulling in the interns, okay? But if I were talking at an academic group, let's say I went to an academic conference, I was talking to other colleagues within the academic realm, I might use this elevator pitch. Hi, I'm Tyra Warner. I learned early on in my life that it takes very little effort on my part to improve the course of someone else's day, and I made a career out of it in hospitality. I'm now the chair of the Department of Hospitality, Tourism, and Culinary Arts at the College of Coastal Georgia. Do you have a hospitality program at your college? So those are just a couple of examples of the way I crafted my own. And ending with a question opens that conversation and hopefully keeps it going. So just some ideas. So again, the summary here, craft your elevator pitch in such a way to distinguish yourself from other people. Make it persuasive and interesting, not all facts. Be who you are, but be different, dare to be different. Spark curiosity, try to be memorable. Summarize what you do or want to do, but find a hook. Be ready for questions and do research ahead of time. All right. So when people start asking you questions about your chosen field, you don't say, yeah, I never heard of that hotel, or never heard of that business, or never heard of that company. I don't know what your company does. I have no idea, because it sounds like now you haven't done your homework. And consider some personal branding, like Dennis, like Alex, like I was describing. Sort of figure out what you might do to stand out physically, as well as business cards and that kind of thing. So I hope that was helpful, and good luck out there.